Hey everybody, good morning. I'm going to let these participants pop in. It looks like they're populating at this point in time. But Heather Simmons and I are here as part of PTSO, and we are the liaisons for the ninth grade and 10th grade and wanted to say welcome. We are going to start with Miss Allison Davis to give you all a parent one-on 101. Take it away. So
Good morning, everybody. I am Allison Davis. I am one of the assistant principals here at Myers Park High School. As assistant principals, we are assigned by grade levels. So for my particular grade level, I'm the 12th grade administrator. Michelle Richards is the 11th grade administrator. Justin Holt's the 10th grade administrator, and then Tyson Jeffis is the 9th grade administrator. One of the big things that we're frequently asked about very early on is how you can get access to Power School. And so each parent and each student has a separate access to Power School. If you are a parent or guardian and you have not been able to get your Power School access yet, then you can either contact our main office at 980-343-5800, or you can email me at Catherine Davis. I know it says Allison Davis. My legal name is Catherine, so it's kathryn.davis@cms.k12.nc.us. And what we will do is we will send you either a letter that explains to you how to start your Power School account, or if you already have an account, but you just need a password reset for you, then we will reset that password to something for you, send it to you, and then you can reset it to something personal that you would like to use. The next thing that families have a lot of questions about is Naviance. Naviance is a great system that is available to students in 9th through 12th grade. And it serves kind of different purposes based on the grade that you're in. Naviance is a career and college readiness portal that assists students in identifying their talents, interests, and corresponding career clusters. And students can also research colleges based on entrance requirements, majors, locations. So a lot of times if I'm meeting with families and their child is in the 9th or 10th grade and they're trying to decide, okay, do I go to AP? Do I go to IB? Should I consider college and career promise? You know, do I need the SAT and the ACT? What kind of scores do I need to make? What is, you know, how does class rank factor into it, GPA? Then we suggest that they look at the colleges through Naviance and see what the expectations are for individual colleges. And then that helps them make a much more informed decision as they're mapping things out for the remainder of the years. All CMS students have access to Naviance. There is no password needed. To access Naviance, students just need to sign into their NC Ed Cloud and then click on Clever and then click on the Naviance icon, and that will take them to the Naviance system. Counselors will visit 9th grade classrooms throughout the year to introduce students to the Strength Explorers inventory that is there. 10th graders will focus on a personality inventory similar to the Myers-Briggs. 11th graders will focus on researching colleges in the colleges I'm thinking about section. And then of course, this is the platform where all 12th graders will upload everything when they're applying for colleges, including teachers submitting recommendations through there, counselors submitting recommendations, transcripts are submitted there. So it's an integral part of our college application process. The other thing that is helpful to know is our guidance department operates based on last name. So for instance, if you are a parent here, as a parent, I have 2 that graduated from here. I have a 3rd one that is here. It's really nice because all 3 of them would have the same counselor. So I don't get caught with, oh, this is my 9th grader. Who do they have? This is my 10th. Who do they have? Everybody has the same one. Where you can get this information is if you go to our Myers Park website, you can go to the Guidance and Student Services link. And when you go there, you will actually see each of the counselors. It has what their alphabet is, and then it has a place where you can click on it to make an appointment. The next thing that families like to know a lot about is what is the expectations with communicating with teachers. I have actually had 9th grade parents who have reached out and said, you know, and when my child was in elementary and when they were in middle school, I would email the teachers. Is that frowned upon in high school? And I always let them know we absolutely do not frown on parents and guardians reaching out to teachers at the high school level. We definitely feel like it is just as important for parents and guardians to stay engaged and feel welcome. We will have families that will, you know, decide or ask the counselor to make them a group meeting with all of the teachers at one time because they want to discuss concerns. Parents, guardians will reach out to our counselors regarding 504s. They'll reach out to our EC department regarding IEPs. So we definitely want our families to feel like they can participate in their child's education, both parents and guardians being able to reach out to us and to the teachers. What we do ask is that if you email teachers, you give the teachers 48 hours to respond to you. If you do not get a response, certainly send them a second one and just say, hey, not sure if you kind of missed this. At that point, if you still are not getting a response, then we have administrators who are assigned to each of the departments, and they are a great contact to you. For example, our science department and our CTE department and our EC department are overseen by Michelle Richards. Our EL department, our social studies department, our English department, and our world language department are overseen by Justin Holt. And then our math, our visual arts, our performing arts, and our junior ROTC and health and PE are overseen by Tyson Jeffus. And so again, if you don't get a response at that point, you can certainly reach out to one of the administrators and let them know, as well as you're always able to reach out to me. One of the reasons that we do like to work specifically with a admin who is over that department is therefore if there's, you know, several concerns that are being brought up in one particular department, then the same administrator is hearing about those concerns, and it doesn't become something where, you know, 10 parents have reached out about the same concern, but they've gone to 10 different people on campus. And so therefore it's never being addressed because everybody sees it as only one concern. So that's why they're very helpful in that part of it. The other thing is we do, you know, have these administrators that are your contacts if you have just any concerns about a classroom in general. And we hope that you will take advantage of this opportunity just to reach out and share your concerns and give us a chance to check into it. The last couple of things that I would like to hit on is, first off, sports. We welcome all kids to get involved in our athletic program and try out for sports. If you go to the CMS Athletic Zone, that is a website where you can pick out Myers Park High School. And when you go to that particular link and you pick out Myers Park High School, you will see on there about the ticket to play, which has to be completed before you try it out for a sport. It has on there the forms that have to be completed, what medical forms must be completed in order to try out. But again, we welcome families to check out that site, to look at the different sports that their child can try out for. And then the last thing that I wanted to share is just a very important link on our off of our main website, and it's tech resources at the park. So if you go to the Myers Park website and you scroll all the way down to the bottom on the left-hand side, you will see tech resources at the park. And when you click on this particular link, then the link will take you to all questions that students would have regarding Chromebooks, regarding Canvas, regarding PowerSchool, how to get access to these different things. We are a one-to-one school. We have distributed all Chromebooks to students. Meg Bombian, who is our instructional academic facilitator, was the one who helped facilitate all of that. So at this point, all students should have one. If we have new enrollees who do not, they can go to Parkit, which is our media center in the 3rd floor of the LA building, and they can pick them up first thing in the morning from her. She is there in the morning time assisting with any students who were not able to get their Chromebooks. So thank you so much for being here today, and we hope that we can be of assistance to you. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions.
Thanks, Ms. Davis. I see that Dr. Furr has joined us, so I was gonna allow her to unmute herself and do a little welcome, and we're gonna hear from her real fast.
Good morning, everybody. I am so glad to be able to speak with you today and really thrilled that I'm given the opportunity to be here at Myers Park. A little bit of background about me. I'm an experienced high school principal. I spent the 13 years prior to my retirement at South Mecklenburg High School, where I was principal. In all, I was 30 years of principal before I retired. Sometimes what happens when various things happen in the schoolhouse, folks are needed to fill in intervals of time. And I was asked before school started by Ms. Sullivan to take the interim principalship here at Myers Park. So I was happy to do so and having a wonderful time here working with our students and staff and getting to know some of our parents and particularly our parent leaders. I want to welcome you here. I'm so happy that I think I've been here 5 weeks now, so I'm beginning to feel like I know which end is up and what's going on. Fortunately, the experience as a principal carries over from one school to another pretty consistently. There are two things I just wanted to touch on this morning, both information that I dealt with in the Mustang Express, but just a little bit of an update. First, I know that very much on everybody's mind is COVID and schools and what's happening. So I wanted to remind everybody that, first of all, we're employing all of the protocols that are dictated by the county and by the district very stringently. I have to say, I am most impressed, having worked with teenagers all my life. The kids here really are doing as we have asked them to do in being mindful of mask wearing and, for the most part, staying distant from one another. Wearing masks when that's not possible. We have arrangements on campus to keep students distant at times when we know that they can't wear masks, for instance, while they're eating lunch. We've utilized a number of different spaces around campus to allow us to give them space around themselves so that when masks are not possible, they're not close enough to one another to really be in any kind of jeopardy. And a few reminders go a long way. Students are very compliant, and I'm so appreciative of that. Teachers, too, have been most helpful in reminding students about why maintaining vigilance around COVID is important. I've been working closely with our school nurse, and in fact, we have a school nurse as well as a second person who's been given to us on contract to man an isolation room. To give you a thumbnail sketch of what happens should a student come to school and demonstrate symptoms of COVID, and can't be picked up right away by parents to be removed from school. We put them in what's called an isolation room. It's a place away from other students. It's manned by a nurse. Parents are contacted, but they're kept in isolation until such time as parents can pick them up. When we get word of COVID potential infections or positive test results, basically what happens is they are seen by the nurse. The nurse reaches out and makes contact and establishes some things. For instance, are you vaccinated or are you not? Because that impacts how long quarantine may have to be, if in fact it's necessary. If your child is directly impacted by the possibility of infection, you're going to be contacted directly by phone, either by an administrator or by the nurse. That is, if your child is in a position where there seemed to be a close contact, either in the classroom or elsewhere with other students or with adults who may have been identified as positive. That person will give instructions about what happens next. I chuckle a little bit. Last night I got an email from a student who had just discovered that in her household that parents had tested positive. She was not testing positive. She didn't know if she could come to school. I was so glad she reached out because I was able to tell her, yes, you're vaccinated, you're not testing positive, you don't have symptoms. Yes, you can come to school. If you develop symptoms, please let us know immediately. You might want to be tested in 3 to 5 days. That's kind of become the routine, and I think students have acclimated to it perhaps even easier than the adults. As far as notice, we are required by the state to put out a kind of a broad-based call, an automatic call once every 14 days to alert folks in the community as to whether or not there have been any positive cases in the school. There's the possibility that we could do so more frequently. And we've really weighed and may end up changing that over time. We don't want it to become so routine that it's something that nobody listens to anymore. But if your child is in the area where they might be considered a close contact, there is a contact tracing protocol in place. And again, if it's determined that your child is in a close contact with anybody who's tested positive, you will get personal reach out phone call from an adult, whether it be an administrator or a nurse, to let you know where do we go from here. It's kind of a new normal in a way. I hate that we have to do this. And in fact, I've chuckled to myself a little bit that after 30 years as a principal, there's nothing new to learn. Well, yeah, there is. And I'm learning very, very well from people who are well experienced and partnering with us in this way. So if you have concerns, feel free to reach out to the nurse if you're not able to reach her for whatever reason. My email is quite easy. It's maureenc.fur@cms.k12.nc.us. And I'll be happy to either answer your question or route it to somebody who might be able to respond to it if I don't happen to know the answer. Know that safety is a priority for us, and medical safety as well as physical safety is certainly high on our priority list. This is something we take seriously, and we're doing, I think, a very good job in monitoring the situation at our school and keeping everybody who needs to be informed as possible. So I guess what we're asking is extend a little bit of trust and let us know if you have questions, and we'll be happy to respond to them. Very briefly, I had some communication the first week of school about traffic outside of school, particularly at dismissal, and we've taken some steps to begin to remediate that. I discovered, having known this from other schools, that there was an issue with the traffic light. And in fact, we were able to get in touch with the Department of Transportation. They came out and corrected the cycling issue, which was causing people to be backed up behind the light. It should be better, but I do want to remind everybody that with safety in mind, we need to stay in the road, in our lane, and be as patient as we can. We want everybody to get home safely, and I'm impressed by the fact that folks are doing everything that they can to make that happen. Understand that this is not my only priority. Teaching and learning is really what we're here for. And I know that the tradition at Myers Park has been a rich one in making sure that your children are prepared in every way for whatever it is that they wish to do post-secondary, and certainly well prepared for a good experience while they're here at high school. Ms. Davis, who you've already heard from, is our point person around instructional issues. She's probably the best person to address questions around that sort of topic with. But by all means, I'm very happy to facilitate whatever communication is necessary. And I welcome you to join with me in making this a great year at Myers Park.
Thank you, Dr. Fur, and
You're
kudos to you in that green and white striped shirt. In Myers Park.
I haven't worn any red yet.
Well, come visit me in the swag wagon. I can hook you up with some more. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to ask you to mute, Ms. Dr. Fur, and then I'm going to turn it over to our PTSO co-presidents. Take it away, ladies.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much to Heather and Ginger and Trisha for hosting this coffee this morning. We're so grateful to be here, and I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Kim Bowman, and I have a 10th grade daughter.
And I'm Mandy Brencher, and I have a junior and a senior daughter.
We are really excited to be your co-presidents of the PTSO this year, and we're just looking forward for an amazing year. The PTSO is organized to serve students, faculty, and the entire Myers Park High School community in all ways, big and small. And some of the bigger ways that I wanted to point out right away are we've had some big projects the last couple of years that we were able to accomplish, and some of them are enhanced lighting in the auditorium and new seats, security system improvements, and the awesome green picnic benches you see all over the quad.
The PTSO has over 30 committees, and many of them need volunteers. Our primary areas are staff and school support, and also student support. With staff support, we have volunteers that help out in the attendance office. With school beautification, we support the front office, the guidance department, and the health room. Students run the Hoof Hut in the cafeteria, and we help them with that entrepreneurial business. We have staff appreciation and treats at staff meetings and staff luncheons throughout the year. And we also have the Writing Center that's available to all students.
Some of the student support committees include grade level events for students and families, mentoring programs, open campus, prospective and new families, hospitality, and in-reach outreach. We are sure you've heard about the Mustang Express. It comes out every Tuesday and Friday, and we just really encourage you to sign up. It has very timely and relevant information. It's where you'll find Zoom signups and registrations, sporting events, and everything that's going on in the community. The PTSO website is also a really great resource for you. You can sign up to be a volunteer. You can check out the calendar, and it just has a little bit more static information. We hope that you will visit the website, that you will sign up to volunteer, that you will join the PTSO, and that you will sign up for the Mustang Express as well.
And all this great work that the PTSO accomplishes each year is thanks to donations to our annual fund. Cherie Smith and Melissa Sullivan are the co-PTSO presidents-elect, and they're going to talk to you in just a minute about the annual fund. And we just hope you guys will join the annual fund. We'll give to the annual fund, join the PTSO, and find ways to get involved. And we look forward to meeting you, and we're here to support you and answer any questions. And thanks for attending this today to learn more about how things work at Myers Park. And we want to thank Dr. Furr and Ms. Davis and just all the assistant principals and staff and faculty who make Myers Park what it is, such a great place for our students to go to high school. And we're so grateful they're back this year. Thank you.
Charisse, do you want to say a few words, or I'll let you unmute yourself and you can speak on behalf of the annual fund.
Okay, and of course my dog is barking the minute that I have to talk. But as Mandy and Kim said, I'm Cherie Smith and I'm president-elect. I just wanted to say just a few more words about the annual fund that is currently underway. The annual fund is our once-a-year fundraiser that raises money for the PTSO operating budget. Can y'all hear me? And my dog, sorry. With the funds that are raised, we can support not only all the students, but the staff and the teachers for any of the needs that our school has that is not covered by CMS. Our goal this year is $200,000, and we are doing great already, which is great. So if you have already donated, first of all, I just want to say thank you. We really appreciate it. And if you have not, we'd ask you to consider doing so. And you can go to the Myers Park website, and on the left-hand side, there's the Myers Park PTSO. And if you click there, then you'll see the annual fund button, and you can go that way. Or if you're filling out your back to school forms, if you haven't already, you can donate by going through the back to school forms, or you should have received a card in the mail before school started. And if you still have that, you can obviously mail that in as well. Kim and Mandy mentioned some of the things that the PTSO has supported in the past. And I just want to say that last year with the COVID year, we were really through our outreach able to support a lot of families in need. And without the annual fund, we would not have been able to do that. So thank you if you've donated, and if you've not, please consider doing so. And that's it. And again, sorry about my dog.
Thank you, Cherise. So I just wanted to wrap up and just let you guys know, all you parents that are on the call, as COVID sort of subsides a little bit, our fingers are crossed, we will host a fun activity, and we will get together at some point in time, the 9th graders and the 10th grade parents, hopefully at a brewery or something really, really fun. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. And again, as our PTO presidents mentioned, if you sign up for the Express, you will get notifications about that there. And we want to thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, certainly send those into Miss Davis, and we will get them all addressed for you.
And I just heard from Kim Bowman that the back to school forms are due Friday, correct, Kim? Okay.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject. I know Miss Wright had hoped to join us and she was not able to. Do you want me just to explain real quickly about how absences is handled if you need to check a student out and things like that?
Yes.
Okay. So I know another, Miss Wright had hoped to join us today. She is our attendance secretary. If your child is absent, you can email Miss Wright. It's Hope Wright. And I think it's hope.wright@cms.k12.nc.us. You can email her the reason for the absence and she can correct Power School for you to reflect, if it's a medical reason, that it's medical. If you have a child who needs to check out early because of a doctor's appointment or dental appointment, then the child can bring a note first thing in the morning before they go to first block. They can drop that note off at her desk. She will then reach out to a parent or guardian to confirm that it is in fact a note from the parent guardian, and then the student will automatically be released, and it prevents you from having to come into the building and check the student out. And then when you return, most medical locations, dental, doctor, orthodontist, they're actually giving the students now a pass that gets them back into school so they can then just come back and check back into the attendance office and give that to her, and that will get them back into class. What we do ask is if something comes up unexpectedly and you have to check your student out, we do ask at that point that you come into the main office and you go to the attendance desk and you check your student out, sign your student out. In that particular case, if at all possible, we do ask that you do that in between classes so that we can avoid calling into classes nonstop and interrupting instruction. So again, if you have any questions about attendance, if your child is going to be on an educational opportunity, like maybe they are involved in some kind of special awards type thing and they have to be away, there's an educational opportunity form that can be filled out to ask that those be excused absences. All of that again is housed with Hope Wright. Thank you.
Thanks for your clarification. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to end it here, and we want to wish you all a good Thursday, and thanks for participating, and go Mustangs.